Okie dokie. So we have a crowd hopefully coming in and watching us. So I thought about doing live debunking of videos with Privilegey Shitlord. I forgot to put your Twitter and everything, but I can do it after the stream, so they can check your channel out. Let's start with the first video. I can screen share and present to everyone. And I have to do the. Okay, let's just start it out. Tell me if it's too loud or too low.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Too quiet.
Okay, a little bit. How about now?
Barely audible.
Crap. After full. Okay, let's try again. How
I
about
don't
now?
think no change at all. I think that's because it doesn't pick up the system mixer sound. You can give me the file because I have a hardware mixer, so you can.
Here I took the wrong thing.
Oh, okay.
Let's try again. I clicked the wrong. Here, how about now?
48 hours after.
Was that better?
So loud.
Yeah, I put probably a little bit too loud. So how about now?
Violence broke out in.
Is that better?
Still a bit too loud.
Again.
48 hours after violence broke out in Charlottesville.
Is that better?
It's okay, but a bit. You could make it a bit loud, like 30% instead of 15.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. A little bit. Try an error. Yeah. Okay. Let's try again.
48 hours after violence.
That good?
Yeah.
Okay. Doc. Yeah. Okay. Let's start the debunking of TYT. Okay.
48 hours after violence broke out in Charlottesville, Virginia, Donald Trump finally made the decision to denounce white supremacy and the neo-Nazis who basically geared violence toward counter-protesters. And did the white nationalists, white supremacists, neo-Nazis believe anything he had to say when he denounced them?
Okay.
This smug face. Oh.
Oh yeah, I paused it at the perfect time, but from what I've gathered from all the protests, is that Antifa and the alt-right people were basically fighting each other. So there, it wasn't just one-sided. For anyone to claim that as well is really freaking stupid. Also, these protesters that were just there to protest the anti-white or whatever, they tore down a statue and all sorts of things. So claiming that these Antifa people they didn't do anything is ridiculous. I don't know how do you view the situation?
Well, I view the situation that I don't like either side of the conflict, but Antifa is by far the worst.
Yeah. And I mean, and the media has only done it on one side. I've seen a few, the two press conferences Trump did. Now, I'm not the biggest supporter of Trump, even though I'm not even American, so I don't really have any say regarding Trump. But I mean, he actually said something very interesting, is that he condemned all hatred, not just from one side. And the media wanted him to denounce the KKK specifically, which I don't really get. I didn't.
There's no point in denouncing KKK because it's so irrelevant right now. Like, it has like 10,000 people all over the US, maybe even less. KKK it's a fucking bunch of LARPers. Look at the terminology. They call themselves like Cyclops and ogres and goblins and fucking LARPers. Seriously. And
yeah. I didn't see. I've not seen any KKK protests in the media or anything that's been covered. So KKK is a non-factor regarding any of this. But what I'm afraid of is for the I don't know, for the last 3 years around that. The media has just gone berserk with calling everyone a freaking racist, and now they have one case of a guy running down anti-Trump protesters, and I think they're gonna run with it until the wheels fall off, because they finally have a case now, and the entire discourse between these people are dead, even though they want the same thing, which is really ironic.
Well, this is first of all the leftist media basically you can just ignore what they say, or when they say something, it's almost certainly the opposite of what they say, because you know how it's. Well, we've all seen WikiLeaks when all those leaks were exposed that half of those figureheads from TV and newspapers there were pretty much in DNC's pocket, and also there are we should assume that those leaks that are available to us is just a small portion, and there's more going on. But it's pretty obvious if you look at the coverage, especially even when it comes to those independent media like the Young Turds. They are, well, maybe independent from those big corporations that own other news media, but they are still getting paid by the same people like Qatar, and yeah, they are as independent as. Oh, at least it was funny when Hillary was losing and Cenk was losing his shit, and when
Yeah.
was talking shit about DNC. He
Yeah.
might not be in DNC's pocket, but he's in the pocket of the people who are sponsoring the DNC. Saying like
Yeah. I
Saudi
mean,
Arabia and Qatar, all that shit.
I mean, the media has driven basically tried to disperse people into their own camps politically, where you have the Antifa people, which is just gonna get more and more bold with the media basically backing them, and you have the alt-right people who are just getting more angry because they don't get they are not getting a fair shake, and they're gonna get more extreme with their supremacy or nationalistic and basically their race stuff, where they want to basically have a white nation and all sort of things. White nationalism is probably the right term. Whether they are gonna promote that they want a white nation, all that crap, and you have the Antifa people who want patriarchy and capitalism is evil. We want communism. Like both of these ideas are really freaking toxic, and you have persons like these, like Anna and the TYT and all the main lamestream media, basically defending their points with no factual backing. I mean, there is no evidence of half of the shit they say, because they only cover one part of the story, which really fucking irritates me. I mean, I don't have a fight in this, or a dog in this fight, so to speak, but both sides are fucking retarded.
well, here's the funny thing. I think that the old left, so-called, or I prefer the term control left because it's more apt. I think that they are so retarded they don't realize that they are creating their own opposition. First of all,
Yeah.
where did those white nationalists come from? Well, if you tell white people that they're evil, that that privileged, and they should just bow down, if you do it all over and over again, you will push people further to the fringe. And
Yeah.
I've talked to several, well, white nationalists, you call them, and they didn't start like that, or they weren't brainwashed by some other white nationalists. They were pushed to this position by the left, by the zealot on the left, by the SJWs, by the media. They are creating their own opposition. Also, it's funny that a lot of people don't realize how did brown shirts arise. Brown shirts were created to protect the Nazi rallies from provocateurs and violent communists who attacked them. So, can you see the parallels? If Antifa are going to attack the right-wingers, and they will create their own brown shirts, they didn't end well for communists in Germany, and it won't end well for communists here. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a tweet which actually described the situation very well. Was someone like, white people are evil, white people are evil, white people are evil. Hey, where did all these Nazis come from? Like, exactly as you're saying, like they are creating the opposition. Like with, I mean, look at Gamergate. There was no opposition. There were people who wanted to play games and be left the fuck alone, and then they basically went after people who wanted to just to enjoy and play their games. And what did they do? They fucking created an opposition that was bigger than them, and look at what it did. And now it's the same with this. The last 10 years. There has been no opposition to the SGWs, but they continue to poke the fucking bear, and people are getting sick of it. And there are people who are even left wing leading that are getting sick of this shit.
That's how a lot of people left the left. Pardon the pun. This is how I left the left, because it weren't some right wingers who made me. Not be a leftist anymore. It were people on the left who showed their true colors, and I couldn't associate with those people anymore. So that's. By the way, I sent you this screenshot in Discord. It's from kind of recent issue of was it God? Yeah, it was The Guardian. They had this really retarded comic. Well, the left can't meme. Well, they make memes. There's walls of text, and the eloquence is not there. So this is. I didn't change anything, just underlined.
We can read that. It is someone who believes the ludicrous notion that white people are superior to people of other races. They also believe that there is a plan to eradicate white people from the earth. Is there that? Unfortunately, no.
And then they ask, where do those white nationalists come from? Unfortunately, no.
That's just stupid. The entire meme is stupid.
Well, the whole comic is even worse. Let me actually try to find it, because it's called something like Dogs on Mars or something.
Let's see what. Oh,
or Dogs on the Moon.
Hello, Mr. Geek Gamer.
Oh.
I was just reading the chat. Well, we can continue. Oh, did you find it? No, oh, that's someone messaging me. We can continue the video if you find me. Yeah.
Not so much. Now, first, after he gave a press conference today, and he basically backtracked and said that there was violence on both sides again, David Duke tweeted and thanked the president.
See, this is what pisses me off. Like, this is guilt by association. You're basically blaming the president that some asshole supports him. Like,
well, Duke, I've seen some people accuse David Duke of being like agent provocateur, because there were some data that he was like paid to discredit politicians in the past. So why would even people take him seriously? Also, the fact that he really tries to pander to the current, now it's anti-HW stuff is popular, so he's tweeting like this anti-HW stuff on Twitter. So people, I accidentally retweeted him because I saw a post, retweeted another. Fuck, it's David Duke. Who cares?
Yeah, because I saw an interview with him, and he was saying some anti-SJW stuff which was against the SJWs. But again, when he continued talking, you just heard how much of bullshit he is. Even just because you're against the SJWs doesn't mean you're right. I mean, you can be against SJWs and be right that they're fucking idiots, but you can be a fucking idiot as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The SJWs are so toxic. They have alienated everyone. Like, everyone hates them. So being anti-SJW doesn't say a lot about you. It is, they anger and piss off everyone. So yeah.
Yeah,
So I
and
found the whole comic. I sent you a link in Discord.
Okay, and we can check it afterwards. Here, I mean, this tweet itself isn't really that bad. Thank you, President Trump, for your honesty and courage to tell truth about Charlottesville and condemn the leftist leftist terrorists in BLM and Antifa. I mean, but
Well, it isn't even bad. I mean, it's true. But then,
yeah,
of
it's
course,
but if you look at the rest of his tweets, he's probably a fucking idiot. So. I mean, if this is the best TYT can dig up, I mean, Jesus.
well, they aren't sending their best.
We saw this in when he tried to become a president. Everyone was trying to use this guilt by association. I mean, there are races on both sides that vote for people. Are we gonna just condemn the candidates themselves when they're not really racist or support this crap? I mean,
Well,
this is fucking stupid.
The point. When the media is very partisan and very dishonest, because one of the candidates was actually racist, because it was Hillary Clinton. She called someone in a private letter a sand nigger. She also used a lot of other colorful words, and they used, was it in the DNC or was it from her?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar.
Taco Bowl demographics, talking about Latinos. Also, yeah, the other stuff like that. Media doesn't care, but those 10 years question. Also, some racist some time ago said something good about Trump. Oh yeah, that means that Trump wants to lynch everyone.
I mean, let's hear what Anna has to say, because this guilt by association crap is really getting old, because you can't hold Trump responsible of what some random asshole is doing that voted for him. Jesus.
Thank you, President Trump, for your honesty and courage to tell the truth about Charlottesville and condemn the leftist terrorists in Black Lives Matter and Antifa. So, I mean, we all know who David Duke is, former Klan member. Former Klan member. He's still a neo-Nazi.
Okay, so David Duke is...
First of all, Nazis and Klansmen are like different things. Also, first of all, there was this really interesting caricature. It was a Egget crop poster from Nazi Germany. They showed this. It was called Culture Terror. Let me actually try to find it. Nazis and Klansmen are really.
Yeah, they're two different things. You can't. I mean, I would say Nazis have right wing leanings and also some of the left leanings. I would maybe even consider them like in the kind of the centrist authoritarians, so to speak.
Fascists are leftist 100%. Nazis are less leftist than fascists, but they're still a lot of their core beliefs and core party platform points were leftist.
I agree. I totally agree.
A lot of social programs. Yeah, it's all a lot of leftist points. So yeah, they weren't right wing. By the way, I link in Discord to this.
Okay.
It's social result, but like first couple of them are the relevant ones.
Okay.
Oh, it's not the wrong. The next one is like the DuckDuckGo one.
You only sent me one.
Oops, I did. Oh, sorry. Wrong.
No.
Oh, here it is. Not now. Should we get it? So yeah, So this was a World War II era propaganda poster from Germany. So they used this Klan robe as caricature of United States, so he didn't like the Klan too much. If they used the likeness for
exactly
to demonize the United States.
Yeah, so that's basically they basically mock the Klan. So yeah, I don't get this this claim where that neo-Nazis and white supremacists are the same.
Yeah,
If anything,
white supremacists, because they thought that Slavs were Untermensch, but Slavs are white, so there's that.
Yeah,
also, Nazis. Nazism is a whole ideology. I don't think that like Klansmen they have the views on like social issues and politics and economics.
Yeah, they're just basically fuck fuck black people.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
Nazism, they have the whole ideology about how the society should work, how economics should work, how politics should work. So it's much more in depth and much more involved.
Yeah, so yeah, Nazism is culture, is politics, is economics, it's all of it. So it's a complete ideology, where like white supremacy or just plain racism is just one part of it.
It's just belief, so to speak. It doesn't
exactly.
have much to it. It's just pretty much position on one issue, and it's really different. I really don't like that they use the word Nazi so liberally. Pardon the pun, but it's like
but for me, it's lost all meaning. It's lost all meaning. I mean, you could call people Nazi, but everyone is being called a Nazi left and right upon the pun. But I mean, you can't just throw that word around. You're basically crying wolf, and in the end, people are not gonna give a fuck because you're not using the term properly, and nobody is gonna listen.
Yeah, that's a problem, and also it's buzzwords always like that.
Yeah, so let's listen what Cenk has to say.
It's the member, he's the president.
Yeah.
To quote an old commercial, he was the grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. I had him on the show a little while back, not on the main show, but on TYT interviews. And it was one of the most painful interviews I've ever done. But if you don't believe, Anna, that he's neo-Nazi, is still deeply, deeply racist, anti-Semitic, go watch that interview. My God, I've never seen anyone who hates the Jews more than David Duke. If anybody so much as sneezes, he's like, it's the Jews. So now that guy, a former Grand Wizard, and in a lot of ways with the same exact thoughts he had when he was the Grand Wizard of the Klan. Go watch the interview. You'll agree with me. Okay, deeply racist and anti-Semitic as you could possibly get. Going, bravo, Donald Trump, bravo.
Yes, but that's
still the guy who denies Armenian genocide.
Yeah, the fucking projection here.
Perfect face. Perfect face. I'll grab a screenshot.
Yeah, but Jesus, Cenk, you're the one to fucking speak here. You've been caught twice. No, not twice. One time. Yeah, I think twice. Where you've been called out by someone outside your echo chamber about the Armenian genocide, and you just ignored it.
Oh, it wasn't like once. It was many times. When he was, he had an AMA on Reddit. This question was asked a lot.
I meant when he did a show live with TYT or something. That's he got called out twice or something, and he refused to answer. That's what I meant. He's of course been called out like on Reddit, and he did. He was once on a Armenian panel or something like that, where he tried to excuse and anyways, for him to call David Duke the worst person on something. I mean, the guy has horrendous views, but I can say the exact same thing about Cenk. He is a fucking idiot, just like David. They're literally the mirror of each other regarding their ideologies. He's the worst of the left, and David Duke is the worst of the right. He is all for all minorities, patriarchy, socialism. He's a big advocate of socialism. and you're gonna speak out that he's so bad. Of course, you have the opposite in David Duke, where they have he's pro white nationalism and also racism and all sorts of crap. But they're the exact same thing. They're both hypocrites and both freaking retards.
Yeah, it's. No, let's not forget that, speaking of anti-Semitism, let's not forget that a lot of Antifa really don't like the Jews.
Yeah, exactly.
BLM don't like the Jews. BLM, just especially the Muslims in the BLM, they fucking hate the Jews.
Yeah, the pro Palestine. I mean, the pro Hamas.
Yeah, and I mean, it's okay. And they don't even go as far. If they were just against Israel, that's one thing, but they really hate Jews as an ethnicity. Oh, then again, Islam is really not kind to the Jews, so. Well.
Yeah, that's true as well. But I don't think Cenk. I might be mistaken. I would love to be proven wrong here, but I've never seen Cenk do a pro-Israel piece ever. So he's just as anti-Semitic that. As David Duke, as he accuses him of. So.
Oh. Do as I do.
Yeah.
That's right. Just do an equivalency between the Nazis and the Klan and people on the left who say that black people should have civil rights. Okay, yes, bravo. All Nazis salute you, indeed.
Right. Well, another person who wasn't buying Donald Trump's denouncement of white supremacists was Richard Spencer. In fact, he released a statement about it. He said that Trump's statement today was more kumbaya nonsense. Only a dumb person would take those lines seriously.
So Duke actually saw the press conference. That's what he got so excited about. Richard Spencer tweeted before the press conference saying, when Trump 2 days later denounced us, everybody knows that he doesn't mean it. That's why he waited in 2 days. Only an idiot would think.
Oh my God.
First of all, I really want to leave this chunk ogre alone with BLM thugs and Antifa degenerates, like without security or anything, and see how he likes it. Because
but seriously, they're taking two people and saying because Richard Spencer doesn't believe what Trump is saying, that's their evidence that Trump is not sincere in what he's saying.
Richard Spencer is a fucking commie. Have you seen his tweets defending Marxism? Richard Spencer is even though he claims to be the quintessential creator of alt-right, he's as right-wing as Bernie Sanders, pretty much. So when the time comes, he gets the helicopter ride as well.
Yeah, let's just see. Is there anyone in the chat?
I just sent you a couple videos. I was kind of shitposting about Chunk Ogre.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, you're echoing a little bit.
Oh, echoing? So like a Jews here echoes.
Yeah, I'm echoing if I put the B on and start talking. So. It's not me. Yeah, but basically, it's really freaking amazing that they are able to blame. They only have two people, and based from that sample size, they can actually tell that Trump is not sincere. That's freaking amazing. That's just they're psychics. They're basically psychics now.
Oh, and they're better than you, especially Anna.
Get off the stage, you fat fuck.
Especially since I think that it was the funniest part was that Alex Jones wasn't the fattest fuck on the stage. That was the best part.
Oh yeah, the hypocrisy is great. Let's continue.
That he actually meant that condemnation, and it turns out it's the first thing that Richard Spencer's ever been right about, because right after Richard Spencer tweets that, Trump gets out there and goes, yeah, that's right, I blame both sides. And the people who got run over have a semblance of guilt, that's what he said. Okay, the counter protesters have a semblance of guilt, and they were also violent. And he also said there's very good people on both sides.
Yeah, is he wrong? Is he wrong? No, he's not. Oh my God, I'm
I don't
getting.
think that Trump reads tweets by Richard Spencer, because
Oh my God. Are you denying that there are bad people on the left side? Because that's what Cenk here is actually saying. Because Trump is saying that there were violent people during those protests or almost riots in Charlottesville from both sides. This is documented that people with baseball bats were bashing people's skulls in, and they were coming from both sides, and that is a bad thing to call out extremism on both sides. That is fucking retarded as fuck.
well, I mean, this is Chunk Ogre, partisan hack. What do you expect from him? He's as honest. Usually, in the past, I used to say, well, like, fair and balanced, like Fox News. Yeah, now Fox News compared to leftist media, Fox News, it's not like Fox News improved. It's just the rest of them just went straight to shit. So now Fox News isn't the worst by far.
I mean, if you're gonna blame Trump for the that one woman that got killed from that insane person that drove into the crowd, you can blame Bernie and Hillary for the guy who shot up the Congress people during the golf thingy or whatever.
That guy, it's not actually even that clear cut, because there's some new evidence come up. I've seen an article about this, so it might be not as clear cut as it seemed.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna. I've seen he's actually been pictured with white supremacists, but if it was actually one, I'm not really sure because I'm not too familiar with this person. He might have been anti-Trump or mistaken. I don't know. But I don't get.
The first reports about they all fucked up and doxed the wrong guy. That guy had the same license plate number, but from different state. Well, it turns out that different state can have like same license plate numbers. So there can be like car from one state and car from different state. They had the same plate number, which is kind of
interesting.
Yeah, so they fucked up. They this is why different states have different styles of license plates. But I think that Americans could have come up with something like different states would have different number of letters on the, or maybe the first two letters would be the state designation, then the number. That would fix the problem immediately. So you can say like TX, oh, it's Texas. That would be well. Then again, anyways. But the fact that the real guy was actually caught, because the guy was doxed by Paul, because police arrested this guy who drove the car into the protest. But the guy who was doxed by Paul was on Facebook telling that it wasn't him, and people who tell it's him are retards. So obviously it wasn't him. And then that guy, well, I'm trying to find this article. It was somewhere here. Okay, they posted so many links in the Discord. Find it. Yeah, it's too much information is as bad as a lot of information without ability to quickly find it is a bit disorienting. I'll check the history. But the fact is that maybe there's more to this story. So it wasn't like just some psycho decided to drive into the protest, because there were some witness who was actually there, who was in the same police department where this guy was interrogated. Police told that it could have been that he was actually, well, the Antifa were attacking his car, so he just.
Yeah, that's what I also I tried to look because the clips were really they didn't show what actually happened before, but they might have actually attacked the car of him, and he just drove into the crowd because they were attacking him.
Yeah. So and there was, I think this article actually, I haven't seen the video in the article. They said that this new video available that actually shows more details about it. So.
Yeah, but Cenk's entire point is it is really bad for Trump to be balanced and look at it from the outside and say there are bad actors on both sides here, and to actually say that this is not true, that there are no bad people from the Antifa side or Black Lives Matter side is fucking retarded. It's just freaking retarded.
Here's Chunk Ogre for you. I know he's really doesn't care about the truth. It's just partisan heck, as always.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Found article, by the way, sent me in the Discord.
Professor and David Duke are high-fiving. Nazi and Klan, unite! We got the president on our side. This is not a Nazi country. It's not a country for the Klan. This guy's gonna be ridden out of office, tarred and feathered, as he should be. He should already be gone. Let me tell you another reason why he's gone. Is Donald Trump not the guy who gracefully gets out of a problem? He's going to double down, triple down, quadruple down. This is just the beginning. He will attack the people who were murdered, the person who was murdered, and the people who were.
He did no such fucking thing, you retard.
Well, I mean, Trump will double down. I mean, double down is in the 2 terms. So
yeah,
get ready for 7 more years.
he never fucking bashed the woman who got her or any of the people who got her. He condemned the violence that happened to them. And you fucking retard. He went against the people who also hurt people on the right side. Jesus, you're a and oh my god, you're saying he's basically a Nazi because 2 fucking retards are basically backing him or agree whatever. You cannot be this fucking dumb. You cannot. Either you're incredibly ignorant, or you're dishonest as fuck. And I don't know what.
Of course he's dishonest. He has never been honest like in years.
You cannot be this fucking stupid.
No, he's stupid, but not that stupid. He knows that he is full of shit.
Jesus.
By the way, you can open a YouTube chat in a pop-up window. So there's just here's a link to the YouTube.
I just checked it real quick, and I have one
in a separate window, so not to have the stream in the background.
Nah, it's okay. Yeah, let's continue. Jesus, he's a fucking idiot.
Harmed in that Charlottesville protest over and over and over again. Once he does it once, he does it 10 times. And he will support the guys that were part of that rally over and over and over again because he can't help himself because that's what he believes.
You know, another thing that he did over.
Oh my God, you're fucking contradicting yourself. You said he condemned people on both sides. That means the right as well and the left, you fucking retard. So you cannot say, oh my God. Jesus.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch this shit.
My head fucking hurts. Jesus. Oh my God.
And over again during his campaign was ridicule a member of our military, Muslim member of our military, who lost his life in the line of duty. Okay, and then
this is a fucking lie. This is a fucking lie. Okay, first of all, this family. When Breitbart started digging into this family, why did this the father of this soldier suddenly destroy take down the website? Because there's a lot of incriminating evidence that there was really and the fact that how the media portrayed this, Trump hasn't even said anything that outlandish or anything. It's just how the media really portrayed it, very lopsided. Actually, Matt Christensen did a really good video about that. Oh, that's fucking pause face.
Awesome.
She's fucking better than you.
Yeah, but Matt Christian is awesome, and yeah. You see, we basically have to stop each 10 fucking second because this is where they are basically just ranting and telling all these lies. Jesus.
His family members over and over again. Keep in mind that the right wing is supposed to be the pro-military party, the party that wants to respect the troops, that wants to support the troops, but he did it over and over and over again, and they didn't care.
And a perfectly fine counterpoint, and it's gross and sickening, but they were Muslim, and so some much higher percentage of the country, not the majority, but a much higher percentage of the country thinks they're Muslim. Are they really American?
Look at this fucking face. Seriously, this is a face that asks for a brick.
That is fucking smug.
Yeah, I mean, he was that smug during the election night. Not for long. I remember that meltdown. It's the most glorious sight to see.
You know why people people don't like is Islam, not Muslims, and or Muslims that follow radically. That's what people hate. They don't like Nazis. They don't like radical Islam. People don't like communism. Any ideology that's freaking retarded.
Speaking of Muslims and Nazis, I have a great meme for that. Let's check your Discord. Like, perfect meme for that.
Holocaust. Hitler, you were right. They have no right to live. Jesus.
Not every Nazi is a grammar Nazi.
Oh man.
By the way, Hitler had a really warm relationship with Arab Muslims, and they still kind of love him. Oh, they had
that's what's so insane. Like you see Muslims basically praising Hitler, which is freaking insane. Oh my god. Yeah, but there's
so many memory memes about this. By the way, it's like I know it's kind of off topic, but you know how alt-right, especially the most, the radical alt-right, they really don't like Muslims. But if they saw some of the stuff like I saw on Memory TV, where being woke as fuck about Hitler Jews, they would be like, what the fuck, I love Muslims now. Some of those memes, fucking amazing.
Just amazing. It's just Jesus. Fuck me.
But that girl who was killed in Charlottesville is Heather Heyer, 32 years old, from Virginia. They're not going to think the same thing. 2 cops were killed. I know it was an accident and not part of the protest, but they were monitoring the protests. Those are, so it's a different equation. And he went after the Muslim family.
You know who's really obsessed with race all the time? Racists. And when you're basically making it out to be when 3 people are killed and it's in the news and all you care about is their race, you're a fucking racist.
Yeah, and those cops, they just they crashed a helicopter. It's nobody else's fault but their own. Nobody was shooting at the helicopter. Just the pilot was, the pilot fucked up. The helicopter was shit.
Yeah, it was an accident. Whatever, they died. But how many dollars would you bet if there was a black chick that was killed during that crash? How much outrage Cenk would do right now? He would flip his shit. But because it's a white woman, he why does race matter so fucking much?
Because they're Epicureans. It's what their whole worldview is based on the division people by those characteristics. Because that's the whole philosophy. It's really it makes sense because it goes back to the tribalism. Humans evolved to be tribal, and natural selection is not just between the species, but also between groups within the species, as well as between individuals within the group.
And he's a collectivist.
The most fierce competition is not between different species, but between different groups in the same species, especially in primates. So this is why it made sense for in and out group bias. So it's hardwired inside everyone's brain that, we might not even recognize it or not like it, but it's still there to some extent. And this is why those ideologies based on those on tribalist principles, they are really, those ideologies pretty much abuse this backdoor in the human mind. the fact that we are now living in a different society than the one we evolved in. So there's that.
Because we're regressing into like the 1950s now, because everything is about fucking race instead of people's character and whatever. Why would a black person's life matter more than a white person? Is it because there are more of them in the United States? That would make no fucking sense.
Yeah, well, the ideologies are not supposed to make sense. I mean, they might, but often they don't. But then again, it doesn't bother them. It's
Yeah. Jesus.
Family. In this case, it's a Nazi guy who killed that young girl, who injured those 19 people. So
Nazi.
I think we're gonna find out.
Yeah, first of all, you should find out and then call him a Nazi. This is, by the way, this is slander.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, this guy actually, this quote-unquote Nazi guy was actually Jewish, by the way. Then again, that explains why Chankoger doesn't like him. Because Chankoger doesn't like Jews. But he's also not a Nazi, because he didn't, his ancestors didn't massacre the Jews, they massacred Armenians, so it's okay, because, well, Armenians are supposedly white, so white genocide is A-okay by leftist standards. Chankoger, look at his fucking face. Somebody wants
a really good captions today. Yeah, but again, this is a goddamn mess. Where are the facts in all of this? They aren't citing anything factual. They're all about their fifis.
Sometimes I just look at those people and think, do they even understand how hypocritical they are? Or do they even care? I think they actually, maybe they understand, but they just don't care, because it's okay when we do it. It's like leftist mantra these days.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying either they're this fucking stupid, or they're just dishonest as fuck. I don't know, because it's really hard to tell these days, because
Could be both.
Yeah, maybe both.
I think being a Nazi is a bridge too far if you're president of the United States. Oh, I hope to God I'm right about that. But if I'm not, then we're all in for a world of hurt. And you want to talk about brace for impact? If these guys, white nationalists, take over, they call themselves white nationalists, the National Socialists there, and they say, no, we're not white supremacists, we're white.
But I thought you were pro-socialism.
Yeah, well, I think he didn't think it through, so he really changed the topic really quickly after saying socialist, because there was they actually weren't they shilling for Bernie, because he was the only socialist. Trying to. That's the funny part. If you take speeches by Mussolini and take out all the nationalist stuff, you can pass it off as something Bernie said. Well, except that unlike Bernie, Mussolini was actually more eloquent, and he could actually speak coherently. But yeah, that's the same principle. Mussolini talked about social justice. He talked about privilege. He talked about privileged classes and oppression and all this shit. All the SJW talking points. So this Antifa and fascists, their ideologies are so similar. The only big difference is that fascists ditched the idea of class struggle, which was actually a good idea. So I'll just say it right here. Compared to Marxists, fascists are superior, because Mussolini managed to get into power and reform the country into his vision of how the society should work without having a civil war, without mass incarceration of citizens. So yeah, it was much less bloody and much less, a lot less life was. Pretty much there was no life lost until he started war. But before that, it was kind of peaceful, pretty much. Unlike what Marxists, every time Marxists try to install their version of society, it's always either civil war or mass.
The worst is when you combine the two.
Yeah, well, that's. By the way, that's interesting that all those ideologies that grow out of socialism, they have this idea of struggle, central portion of this. In Marxism, it's a class struggle. In National Socialism, it's a racial struggle. And in fascism, it's struggle between nations. Hitler's book was called My Struggle. So it's this idea of having a struggle. So yeah, socialism cannot be peaceful by definition. It's the core idea is having this struggle, and struggle isn't a peaceful thing.
No.
It's not.
Wow. Just wow.
White nationalist. Whatever, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, I love how offended they get when we don't use the terminology that they like. I don't care about offending you.
And by the way, one more thing.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah, as if they like when they are getting called communists. Oh, we're not communists. I'm not a socialist. I'm a democratic socialist. There's a difference. Well, I'm not a Nazi. I'm a democratic Nazi.
They're fucking rich. That's fucking rich coming from them telling not to get offended. Jesus Christ. You're the guys advocating if you don't use the goddamn pronouns or all that sort of crap, you should go to jail. Fuck you. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. You're the one to talk about offending people. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's the most hypocritical statement so far of them. That they're the one. She's the one that got offended when Alex Jones got there, and he got fucking triggered. Like,
oh, that was great. By the way, the funny part is that if he was smarter, not Alex Jones, I mean Chunk Ogre, he would have just acted cool. And it would make the Alex Jones look like a fucking dickhead because
he would have looked like an asshole for interrupting their show and just being a smug son of a bitch. But Cenk took the bait.
Yeah, and he made it so much worse for himself. So now Alex Jones looks like the victim because, well, what's the name of this retard who spat at him?
I can't remember his face, but no, his name. But yeah, you're totally correct. And Cenk got triggered when Sam Harris owned him in a debate, and also with Karen Strawn. So and he got offended by her views. So
that was the fucking shit.
Oh. Go make me a sandwich. Go make me a sandwich and say thank you.
This is such a great male feminist ally right there. Oh, Jesus.
So for them to say, we don't care if we don't use the right terminology or so they get offended. So fuck off with that shit. Jesus Christ. Fuck off.
Here to add to this story, Richard Spencer also said, if you notice, the president in condemning the different groups never said the phrase white nationalist. He didn't condemn what we call ourselves.
Why don't you call them by their name? Why won't you call them by their name?
Because he is pro-terrorism as long as it's white national terrorism. Help us build independent media.
This is a pretty because he actually called them. I'm pretty sure that Trump actually called them white nationalists. But then again,
he said white supremacists or whatever, Nazis and whatever, whatever bigotry or whatever he said on both sides. So what the fuck are they talking about? Jesus Christ!
Well, it's the same. It was a while back when Trump was talking about the Holocaust and said that we must remember the victims of Holocaust. Well, he didn't name the Jews, so he's anti-Semitic, because saying we should remember the victims of Holocaust is the first step to denying the Holocaust, because that makes perfect sense. It was actually a real article, either Guardian or one of those, I think it was the Guardian, one of those leftist rags. Yeah, I think it was Guardian. It was the dumbest article. Oh, I shouldn't say the dumbest article, because today I said that the dumbest article I read was the one I made a video about from Cracked, where they said that Ace of Base was using subliminal messages to brainwash Americans into Nazism. I shit you not, it's exactly what the article was saying. It is as bad as easy they might think.
Oh my God.
So yeah, what's up with the fucking leftists and Nazis? Like they have this Nazi fetish. Like, even neo-Nazis are not Nazis; they are LARPers. Like, a lot of them. Oh, again, it's depends on who you call neo-Nazi, because it's the biggest difference between like it was Antifa and let's see even. Oh, actual Nazis. At least actual Nazis know what their ideology is and understand it. Antifa, like communists, they don't fucking understand their own ideology. They don't often understand the difference between communism and socialism. Don't understand socialism. Don't understand anything. They haven't read works of Marx, so they are Marxists and haven't read Marx. What kind of Marxists are they? Well, then again, there are a lot of believers who haven't read their own scriptures. So. I know.
Yeah, I know. Jeremy Corbyn is a big advocate for
terrorism.
He's a big for socialism, Marxism, but he's never freaking read. He's never read Marx at all. So.
No, you haven't. Oh.
Yeah, and he's like the biggest Marxist, and doesn't even understand his own ideology or
well, he himself might not be a Marxist, because there are different flavors of socialism. I know that the guy was supposed to be, if Corbyn won, the guy would have been like a minister of finance or whatever it's called in the UK. That guy
he actually said he got a lot of his inspiration from Karl Marx. So he's actually a Marx fan, even though he said he's not read everything he wrote. So that's freaking retarded.
Again, as what I said, actually, at least Mussolini actually read Marx and other. Well, he was a socialist, by the way. If you didn't know, Mussolini was a hardcore socialist, just like his father. But at least he actually read those works by socialists and knew what they were about. Well, and like some more fucking communists that haven't even read this, don't even like. I think you might not even read the whole thing, but know what it's about and the core tenets. At least know that. Belonging to an ideology without understanding it, it's fucking retarded. But then again, remember Cock of Dusty, aka Dusty Smith?
Oh my God!
Yeah. Totally not a racist. He said that, I was a part of the alt-right. I was on the Donald Trump train, and then I read his political platform on his website and decided I no longer support Trump. So he was supporter of Trump without understanding what Trump was trying to achieve. What kind of a retard supports a politician without just knowing what this politician is about? Like, seriously, he said that I was supported because of the memes. I mean, it would have worked for me because it's not like I'm not American. I've never been to the US, so it's not like I can vote or anything. I can just support someone without understanding what they're about, because it's more like just for the memes, for the shit posting. But he was actually, well, if you believe him, because I don't know if you should believe him. He's a fucking liar and a piece of shit. But yeah, I just wanted to vote for this politician, but I didn't know his party platform. And then I read his party platform, and no, I don't support him anymore. Like, what kind of idiot does this? And also, I don't know why it's Cock of Dust is so opposed to alt-right. I mean, he clearly hates those Googles and Skypes, so why he would fit right in? I actually have screenshots of Cock of Dust saying a lot of questionable things about,
Yeah, but Cult of Dust is a freaking idiot.
And also, I know that for someone who claims not to be a racist, he really, really, really likes to use the word nigger where appropriate and inappropriate.
Yeah. I mean, it's a full-time job to be a hypocrite.
Like he posted videos like atheists are the new niggers. And then, oh, well, why was my video taken down? Those evil Christians are false flagging it. Yeah, why would someone false flag a video that has the word nigger in the title? I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, people have been saying that YouTube has been shit, and he's just now seeing that it's probably bad on YouTube, and he's getting censored. So and he's going after the people who are actually pointing this out. So yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot.
I think he's maybe not idiot, but he's just a drama whore. Some people, they don't have any moral convictions at all, or they can just shove them where they do it like for either for the money, for the fame, just for the lulz, and they don't have like hard principles to abide by. I mean, shit posting and causing drama is all fun and well, as long as you have some core principles you are not willing to just infringe on. But some people just don't have anything. They just do it. And also, he started his he became rich by doing this porn scam pyramidal scheme. Someone who just was doing this pyramid scheme, like a Ponzi scheme or something. People like that just don't expect any moral principles from them at all. These are they will say and do anything as long as it gives them some benefit. So you cannot trust anything he says and does. And also, he actually admitted that he just starts drama for shits and giggles. Oh, not for shits and giggles, for shits and shekels, most of all, because
and attention.
Yeah, and mostly for money. And if you remember his video complaining how the alt-right has infiltrated the skeptic community, he really is butthurt about those Sargon and others getting a lot of money on Patreon. So, I'm talking about those topics and nobody's giving a shit, but they talk about HWs and they get a lot of money on Patreon. Yeah, it's called free market. People want to hear about HW shit, so they pay people who talk about HW shit. They, how many times can you say, oh, those fundamentalist Christians are stupid, ha ha ha. Yeah, it gets old. Creationists are stupid, ha ha ha. Oh, Muslim fundamentalists are stupid, ha ha ha. They're retarded, ha. Yeah, when you just hear it for the 100th time, it's not that great.
Yeah, beating debunking Christianity or whatever thousands down is getting old. There's no reason for debunking Christianity at the moment, unless there's like a new thing that's happening and what Christians are talking about or want to implement something. There's no freaking
done like in the this guy Brett Palmer is a Bible skeptic. He does it does it differently because he actually researches the text, and if you haven't seen he makes really good documentaries that are, if you didn't know any better, you might think it's like from some Discovery on National Geographic before those channels went to shit. So they're really well made and well researched, and so he traces the text, tries to find the earliest examples and other myths, because when in the same region, a lot of cultures, they just the mythology is kind of getting bleeds into the neighboring cultures, and you can find traces of usually you can get back in time and find similar myths, and also just what he does. By the way, he hasn't done any of those in a while, so it's kind of sad. But if you just check out the stuff he does and just some others, that's interesting because it's different from what others do. It's not like just like, look at Ray Comfort, he said the banana fits in the hand, ha ha ha. Yeah, we heard about it. But stuff some people do, that's interesting. But Dusty, he's just loud, obnoxious, loud mouthing. Yeah, he just says, it was a bit interesting at first, but it didn't really get old.
Logic also does similar things with. He does like 40-50 minute videos on he doesn't just debunk the superficial stuff. He just goes into depth.
Logic is he has this screen presence. Where his videos are basically it's like the videos have character. Just, and also one I think the best video he has done so far. It was like a 2-part response to Armored Skeptic, where he really savagely just wrecked him. You haven't
Yeah,
seen
I saw the first part, but I disagreed with him on one part where he said he started talking about SGWs not being a problem. I really disagreed with him on
I
that.
did say that actually. That SWs aren't a problem.
No, it's not a big part of the it's not big part of the video, but he does talk about it, and that's where otherwise didn't have don't have any disagreement with him.
I'm sure. I don't think he has actually said that SWs aren't a problem because he actually.
Well, he said Christianity was a bigger problem. I would have to I would have to find the
No,
because
I remember
don't-
that part you're talking about. He said that he didn't say exactly that. He said that some people think that Christianity is no longer a problem, and HWs are the biggest and the only problem. And even though he said that Christianity is bigger problem than some people think, because just because we have ridiculed all the biggest big name creationists doesn't mean that they disappeared. It's still a problem. And the point was that the ironic part is that Armored Skeptic actually fell into this trap because he parroted the fundamentalist Christian narrative from some really dubious sources in his video, which is really ironic. Because
yeah, Armored Skeptic. I mean,
yeah. Well, it's really sad. I mean, he used to be like I used to like the guy. He wasn't always this. He got high off his own farts, and yeah, that really went downhill after that. Sad, really sad. But then again, maybe it's for the better because probably it's his real face has been revealed. I don't think that's fame and fortune usually they corrupt people. Don't corrupt innocence. They just allow the worst character traits to flourish. So it was already deep down somewhere in him. It just was hiding. It's like, for example, if you take Movie Bob or Steve Shives, all of them seemed to be decent at some point, or like Total Biscuit. But now with the
Total Biscuit has gone full fucking SGW.
Oh yeah, he's just full potato. And but you take a look at what in the past, knowing what has become of them, you can see the early signs. It's something you would not usually pay attention to, but now with the knowledge of what will happen next, yeah, it all actually starts making sense. It's sad, but it's
but I never really liked Total Biscuit. I know it's like, oh, it's a hip thing to say, but I unsubscribed to him before actually Gamergate happened, because I felt he was more in for it for himself than he was for the consumer. I think the consumer advocate part was more of an excuse than what he was actually saying, because when the Gary's Mod thing happened, you remember that, where the developer went after him and DMCA'd his review because he basically he bashed the game, and it felt more to me that he did it to get more attention, to get more notoriety, so to speak, not just because it's bad that the reviews are taking down and DMCA, but to me it just felt like he was doing it for himself, and all his takes on video games just they felt off to me. It wasn't until recently. I mean, Angry Joe might be left leaning as well, but I've always liked his reviews because they were honest. But now he's like put comments away. People are not allowed to comment, and put likes and dislikes on his video, and those two are supposed to be the biggest consumer advocates for video games, and they're basically giving the middle finger to the consumers with the CoxCon or whatever where they are traps gay. Then that incident, what should we call it? Trapgate, whatever.
Yes.
And
This was such a manufactured controversy because there were videos of both of them in the past laughing at the same question, because they talked about the are traps gay, and they back then, like, it wasn't even that far back. They didn't really care about this, but now I don't think they actually are outraged. They just want to portray outrage, because it's like SJWs. Often they don't care about the things they pretend to care. They aren't outraged or aren't offended. They just portray themselves as offended, because that's what they want to do. It's the outrage is the currency of the leftist world. And by the way, this is why I know I'm sounding like some Rush Limbaugh or something by bashing the left all the time. But SJWs aren't the disease; they are the symptom of the disease. The disease is much deeper, and it has been. It's like a parasite because it's been in the left for a while. It's just the SJWs are the symptom. It was in the making for a long time, and it's no wonder then people who are not SJWs, who might be even anti-SJWs, but they are really hardcore leftists, they will show the same symptoms sooner or later. And actually, I talked about that a bit in my previous video. But it's like, imagine someone who is really doesn't like SJWs, but is a really hardcore leftist, and well, so this guy is fighting against SJWs along us, but then sees that maybe this fight is going a bit too well, and it seems that not just SJWs will perish, but it might actually put a really big dent in the left itself, and might even like such a dent that might just trash the whole thing altogether. And oh, hi Dracopol in the chat. So yeah, the thing is that when they realize that they are fighting on the side that will potentially topple the left as it is, that's not exactly what they want to do. So then they have to either decide either they want to stay with their principles or they want to remain within their ideology. And a lot of them choose to protect the ideology instead of keep their principles. So
yeah, I mean, I crowdfunded the Gamergate book, that Grim Jim crowdfunded, and I'm actually excited to read that because it's actually a fair take on Gamergate. So I just got a confirmation that I'm gonna receive it in the hard copy in the mail. So yeah, but just looking at people who are just my biggest pet peeve of anything are hypocrites. So when people claim to speak on behalf of something, but are just as bad on when what they are speaking out against. So that's that's probably my biggest pet peeve, is that these people who are supposedly pro something and want to protect what the people, the small guy, aren't actually doing that, and that really irritates me especially regarding people like Total Biscuit and
by the way,
Angry John.
The video about him, Short Fat Otaku made a video about him. So
yeah, really I haven't watched it yet. I've been working, so I have a big freaking backlog of videos I have to watch.
Yeah, but this video actually, first of all, it's really well done, and he actually dug up some stuff. Well, even he didn't know about that, but when he was researching for the video, it's like the internet never forgets. So someone somewhere will remember something that was years ago and everyone else forgot. So it turns out that Total Biscuit was a piece of shit even way before Gamergate. So and some of his old posts surfaced where he showed the same arrogance, the same condescension. Yeah, he wasn't a great guy. He was pretending to be one. but it's now he really left his true face shine through. So yeah. I'll be right back. Yeah, drink refreshing.
Yeah. Draco
Privilege.
welcome to the stream.
Hi.
I
don't know if you how far how much of the stream have you watched?
Oh, not much. I'll pick up on what you're saying and talking about as we go along. It's okay.
No, we're just talking about hypocrisy because we went through a video of TYT where they were talking about Trump, David Duke, Richard Spencer, and they were basically being the biggest hypocrites doing that stuff. And that's kind of the discussion now after we went through that video, which was around 7 minutes long. And I don't know, just TYT and the left people, and also the right with people like David Duke, who are fucking idiots as well. I just hate hypocrites in general because they're lies and doing it on purpose. That's kind of the context of what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah, there's some dead police in wherever. There's some dead police who might appreciate some more media attention on groupthink and attitudes on the spread and proliferation of bad ideas that cause people to kill. Why not them?
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, there are bad people in all groups. And that's what also pointed out with TYT, because they refused to say that there were bad actors regarding Charlottesville, and Trump basically saying I'm not the biggest Trump supporter, but saying that there are bad people on both sides. And I mean, also in the police, there are bad people there. There's no denying that, but most people are good people in general, and to basically use a collectivist fallacy on everyone is fucking stupid. That goes for the military, police, whatever group you want to talk about, and yeah, that irritates me a lot.
It's all selective. It's all a media cycle of forgetting. You make people forget your transgressions. You make them remember the transgressions against you. It's false ramping up things. I may be saying obvious things, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I mentioned it before, but I think the media is gonna run with this Charlottesville story until the wheels fall off, because now they finally have an inch of truth in what they've been saying the last 3 years, and now they can actually talk about it, the white supremacists or whatever, because of the death in Charlottesville, and. I'm just afraid that this is gonna get way worse before it gets better, because right now there is no freaking discourse. People are just pointing fingers and calling everyone a Nazi or whatever.
If these leftists really feel so brave, they could start a running of the Dodges, and they would have this, like in Pamplona, the running of the bulls, but they could have like Dodge Challenger cars, and they could run in front of them. And and you don't want to be too fat to be unable to dodge a Dodge.
Wow. Yeah. I think I think it's gonna be really freaking bad. Now the at least the next few weeks are gonna get real bad, because they're just gonna it's gonna something has to happen, because there is no discussion, and it's all started happening when people starting disrupting the college stuff the last 2 years, and also Gamergate before that, and yeah, it's basically been a domino effect all over the place. And instead of talking to each other, having civil discourse and debates, and all of the marketplace of over open ideas and all sorts of things, freedom of speech, you're just pointing fingers and using collective fallacies and ad hominems and all sorts of things to and use pejoratives on people because you don't like them. It just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know anymore, to be honest.
Well, this situation was going up to this point. It's like, yeah, it was escalating for a while, and just the media was ignoring when it was leftists were attacking Trump supporters. And now, by the way, one other really big mistake that leftists are making, they're lumping all people they disagree with into this one category. All those alt-right Nazis, something. When you lump all those different groups that oppose you into one category, you're basically encouraging them to join because you're creating this unified opposition against you, and this is not a good idea because when
you can't do anything. Nothing you can do can justify yourself, and if the left lumps them together, they're going to stay lumped around voting time. That's going to be the big danger.
Yeah, and having everyone just join against you, really bad idea.
Yeah, nobody's.
And what are we lumped in? What are we lumped in for? We're lumped in for horrible things like insisting on low crime neighborhoods that aren't, infested by high crime, low IQ foreigners. We're doing such deplorable things as demanding that laws actually get enforced, for border laws and for law abidedness, and so people are going to say, hey, this is not bad stuff. We shouldn't be lumped in for asking for these things.
And the thing that people get lumped in because they have some couple of ideological similarities. It might be not agree on anything but a couple of issues, but yeah, they are still part of the same, according to the leftists, because they really. This is, by the way, this is one of the things that is really plaguing the left and is, I think, will be its demise. The pursuit of ideological purity. Because when left to their own devices, leftists start attacking each other and cannibalizing each other. Because that's why like Atheism Plus has really, really wrecked the atheism scene. But when left alone, they fucked up itself immediately. Because whenever they tried to do something, they never got anywhere. Just started infighting and yeah. Because that's what the ideology is about, like ideological purity, and you can never be too pure.
Purity tests in general never freaking work. It's just they spell disaster.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that really, really will fuck them up eventually. Because when you just start just dividing your whole. When you remove all those who are not ideologically pure enough, your group will shrink, and until there's really, really a bunch of fanatics who can just have no reach, have no power. They just and they will find problems within each other. Oh, it's your fault. You were not strong enough on this issue. No, it's you. You are too strict on this issue because you are too fanatical, and we'll just fuck up each other.
Yeah, because the cause is not the main thing with some of these things, with some of these people, leftists, or whatever you want to call them, SJWs, the cause is not the main thing. The cause is rising up the ranks, control and power, and giving exercise to your neuroses, and you're in it for personal reasons. So some people will join the cause and they'll do this and that, but the real sickos will make a point of joining the cause and make a point of rising as fast as possible and then messing things up.
Yeah, and this is why the leftists are really good at infiltrating and subverting, but after that they don't know what to do. They really can't be productive. They can fuck up stuff, but it's like U.S. military. They can go to some country and fuck it up, But then to keep peace and order there, not so much.
Well, it's like the line from Woody Allen in Annie Hall. Woody Allen said, "Our relationship is like a shark. It's got to keep moving forward or it dies." And what we have here is a dead shark.
Well, yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. Oh, now people. Oh, Ralph is coming. Yo, Ralph.
Let me fuck with my volumes here real quick.
I was actually just about to stop the stream, but if you have anything to say, go ahead.
Take a look at the memes I sent you in the Discord.
Oh, so
Yeah.
what did I miss?
I don't know. I don't know how much of the stream you saw.
No, I didn't see any of it. I was dealing with stuff.
It was just TYT being a bunch of hypocrites. So
Yeah, and America losing their fucking shit online.
yeah, basically.
Not that anybody out in the real world gives two fucks.
Yeah. Yeah, but we were just talking about hypocrisy in general and how stupid it is. But we can probably talk more in. I just want to cut the stream. I don't want it to go too long.
Okay.
But we can continue talking off air. So yeah, Privilegey, I put your link in the description, so you people can check out your stream. New streams and also your channel on Twitter. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.